Hello and welcome to Wednesday debate here on Nile TV International with Taghreed Hussein. Tonight we'll be talking about Egypt's regional and global influence. President Abdel Fattah El-Sisi always demonstrates Egypt's critical diplomatic role across the Arab world, Africa and also globally through the high-level talks and strategic visits that definitely reflect Egypt's heavy weight on the regional as well as the international front. The President's activities highlights Egypt's role and engagement in the different regional issues. Today, the President had earlier embarked on a visit to Djibouti and wrapped up the visit where he was received by his counterpart, President Ismail Omar Guelleh, and this warm reception definitely reflected the deep-rooted ties between Egypt and Djibouti and the fraternal ties between both nations. The visit highlighted the different efforts to strengthen bilateral cooperation between both countries, and we had earlier witnessed mutual coordination and consultation on regional and international issues between the two brotherly nations. Well, tonight with our distinctive guest, His Excellency Ambassador Dr. Mohamed Hegazy, former Assistant to the Foreign Minister, we're going to read those important headlines and also regional and international developments. Your Excellency, thank you so much for coming.
My pleasure, Tali.
Thank you so much for coming to the debate tonight. We'll be talking about Egypt's central role on the regional and global stage, from the Middle East to the Horn of Africa, and also to regional developments as well. We'll first see this report and we'll be back.
Throughout this week, President Abdel Fattah El-Sisi engaged in a series of diplomatic activities that underscored Egypt's pivotal role in regional stability and international cooperation. Last Thursday, President El-Sisi held a phone call with the Rwandan President Paul Kagame to discuss strengthening bilateral cooperation in economic and developmental sectors. The two leaders reaffirmed the depth of historical ties between Egypt and Rwanda and explored joint projects that left mutual national interests. The two presidents also emphasized the importance of collaboration among Nile Basin countries to achieve mutual interests and discuss the situation in Central Africa, particularly the need for restoring stability in Eastern Congo, underscoring Egypt's support for African-led solutions to stabilize Central Africa. In this regard, El-Sisi reaffirmed Egypt's readiness to support all regional and international efforts. Earlier this week, President El-Sisi held an important phone conversation with Jordan's King Abdullah II bin al-Hussein, addressing the situation in the Gaza Strip and the broader Palestinian territories. The two leaders coordinated efforts to press for an immediate ceasefire and the secure, unrestricted delivery of humanitarian aid. They also expressed a firm opposition to any attempts to forcibly displace Palestinians from their land. President El-Sisi reaffirmed Egypt's unwavering support for Jordan in controlling terrorism and safeguarding its stability, emphasizing the deep-rooted brotherhood between the two nations. Also earlier this week, and in response to the tragic boat capsizing on the Congo River, President El-Sisi extended his condolences to Democratic Republic of Congo's President Felix Tshisekedi. During the call, El-Sisi reaffirmed the deep historical ties between Egypt and the DR Congo and expressed Egypt's commitment to supporting regional and international efforts aimed at resolving the crisis in Eastern Congo and restoring regional stability, to protect Africa and international fluctuations, and to present African perspectives on issues of direct interest to the continent. It's worth mentioning that in a notable interfaith gesture, Al-Azhar announced its participation in Pope Francis' funeral with a high-level delegation. This move signifies Egypt's dedication to promoting religious dialogue, sending a powerful message of unity to the global community. Today, President El-Sisi arrived in Djibouti, where he was received by his counterpart, President Ismail Omar Guelleh. This warm reception reflects the deep fraternal ties between Egypt and Djibouti. The visit underscores Egypt's commitment to strengthening bilateral ties between the two nations in particular, and promoting ties with East African nations in general, aiming to enhance further cooperation in trade, security, and infrastructure development, reflecting Egypt's strategic interest in the Horn of Africa and its role in regional stability. Throughout the week, President El-Sisi's activities have highlighted Egypt's proactive engagement in regional issues, including efforts to mediate in Gaza, support stability in Jordan, and address conflicts in eastern Congo. These initiatives reflect Egypt's strategic diplomacy and its role as a key player in fostering peace and development in the region.
Your Excellency, this important visit by President El-Sisi to Djibouti, reflecting the deep-rooted relations and also the strategic partnership with this important country.
Absolutely. The geopolitical situation, Tagreed, of East Africa, and particularly what is pertaining to peace and security in this very important region, is an integrated part of the agenda of Egypt and President Abdel Fattah El-Sisi. The geopolitical situation of Djibouti and the geographical importance in the Horn of Africa and East Africa in general makes it very important logistically to safeguard security in the Strait of Bab el-Mandeb, as well as for the peace and security in the Red Sea in general, leading to the Suez Canal. The relations between Egypt, Djibouti, Eritrea has witnessed over the past few months certain communication and importance through which Egypt reflected its dependence on the very important and strategic relations between Egypt, Djibouti and Eritrea. Moving further to safeguard and secure the entry to the Red Sea and to the Suez Canal is one of Egypt's most important goals, and I think the logistical support that Egypt can get from Djibouti is also very important, besides the bilateral ties, which is historic and important, and as Djibouti also is playing a very important role as a bridge between Arab world and Africa. And I think this visit will bring more benefits to the relations of both countries, and it will help, of course, the logistical drive of Egypt in this very important part of the Horn of Africa. And if we refer to the trilateral cooperation with Eritrea and Djibouti, I think this is a very important political unit that will assist the geopolitical situation in the Horn of Africa, as well as the passageway towards the Suez Canal and the Red Sea cooperation between the three nations. The President have communicated during the past few days with President Tshisekedi of RDC, and he is also keen to call on, President Kagame of Rwanda to show Egypt keen interest to settle the ongoing conflict in eastern Congo, showing that Egypt's strategy towards stabilizing African conflicts is very important. President Tshisekedi also received the condolences of the President over about collapse in one of the lakes in RDC, but at the same time the President sees the opportunity, as usual, to talk about the situation in eastern Congo, where there is certain accusation to Rwanda and breaching borders. So this mediation one can call it, is very important, timely, and very beneficial to Africa peace and security. Egypt is now the head of the Peace and Security, African Union Peace and Security organ, and I think this is part of our duties to mediate and to talk to parties and to settle conflicts.
Yes, since we're talking settling conflicts, and this important visit also comes at a timing where both leaders had already engaged in talking about the role of Egypt, the important role of Egypt also in mediating conflicts and also in peacekeeping forces.
Absolutely. In Africa, Egypt, one of the leading peacekeeping forces, the Egyptian peacekeeping forces, is among the leaders worldwide, not only in Africa. But at the same time, that shows that we have a multifaceted diplomacy. Diplomacy that keen to safeguard peace and security and tranquility in the continent, in Africa, at the same time moving further with our relentless efforts to bring in peace and security to Gaza and to find a way through a partnership with the United States and Qatar to present a comprehensive peace initiative and propositions that will put an end to the war crime ongoing now for 18 months in Gaza Strip.
Yes, definitely Gaza has been also on top of the list, but still with Djibouti, if we're talking about potential impacts of Egypt deepening ties with the Horn of Africa and with Djibouti, with the Red Sea area, this bearing also into consideration the economic benefits for both nations.
Yes, Djibouti is a huge market for meat and animal products. At the same time, Djibouti has a very important geographical positioning in the Horn of Africa, where logistics are very important to Egypt, and I think there is facilities that has been given to Egypt, along with many other nations, France, China and the US. They all have logistical facilities in the Djibouti shores, and this is very important location to Egypt, and I think time has come that we should be always close to the entry or the Strait of Bab el-Mandeb, as it is an entry to the Suez Canal and an integral part of peace and security in the Red Sea.
Yes, definitely the engagement also with both Rwanda and DR Congo is very important while we're talking about fostering stability with Central Africa, and it comes also timely that both leaders are always keen to be in direct contact with the President on the developments of the situation in that respect.
Absolutely, and historically Egypt enjoys a very strong ties with both nations, and when they are now colliding in a confrontation in the east of Congo, Egypt has a special role to play. President Tshisekedi is a close friend to President Abdel Fattah El-Sisi, as well as President Kagame. So talking to both leaders in a language that will carry on pacification of the border lines and return back to tranquility and to pacify Eastern Congo is very important. Congo is a very important, as well as Rwanda, an integral part of the Nile Basin, and both are in very talking and historical terms with Egypt.
Yes.